sometimes the pivot is the point. Sometimes the
Yes.
pivot is the door to your next level life, your next level expansion. It becomes this beautiful amalgamation of ways that you help people. So follow that joy, follow that insight, follow that spark. It's not going to lead you wrong. And don't let anyone shame you and force you to stay in something longer than you know is aligned for you.
Hi, I'm Tracy Ann Rose. I help high achieving women of color entrepreneurs break income ceilings and reconnect with their intuition without burning down your business. And today we have the wonderful guest, Alyssa Harris. Welcome to the show, Alyssa.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I made season 1. Now I'm making season 2. Like, am I a celebrity? I'm so excited.
Alyssa will be a reoccurring guest on the show. You can trust and believe that. But let me give Alyssa a brief introduction. Alyssa Harris is a mindset coach and energetic strategist for ambitious souls navigating seasons of change. She helps heart-led entrepreneurs redefine who they are and how they lead based on their energetic blueprint. So they move into the next chapter with clarity, courage, and unshakable self-trust. No burning out, betraying yourself, or starting from scratch necessary. Alyssa, so we're here to dive into how to grow your
Yes.
business with astrology and human design.
One of my absolute favorite topics. I feel like these are essentially your cheat codes to life. Like, you can do anything if you understand your energetic blueprint, which includes your astrology, your human design. I also throw in gene keys because they just have some really cool things that kind of mirror our astrology and human design that just drive it home that much more. And then, of course, sprinkling in the tarot for clarity. So if you can understand your energetic blueprint, you can literally do anything.
Absolutely. So it's like, I want to ask you, what are the issues that you see when somebody is really struggling to embody their blueprint in business?
Yeah, so it's so interesting, and I think some business coaches are gonna get mad at me about this, but they try to fix these external issues, right? It's like, "Oh, my niche, my sales funnel, my pricing," when in actuality, what's happening is you have some identity misalignment that is uncomfortable and expensive. And I believe that all entrepreneurs are I think everyone's intuitive on a certain level. And entrepreneurs are people that I think are a bit more intuitive and tapped into what the collective needs. Like, they got this idea and they believed in it so much that they took this risk to become entrepreneurs and bet on themselves because they're like, the collective needs this enough, that people will pay me and I will be able to make a living from this. So it's like you've already trusted yourself. But when it comes to certain things like funnels, prices, the market, all of these like nebulous things, when it comes to those things, people think, oh, there are rules to this. There are there's certain structure, and I'm just the outsider. I'm the special unicorn that just doesn't know what they're doing. It's like when you start really getting in business and getting in these rooms, and that's been something that both me and Tracy Ann have been doing over these past couple of years, is just getting in the rooms with people much more experienced than us and recognizing the problems just spiral up. Like, you're gonna have the same problem at $100,000, at $1 million, at $10 million. People that make 10 million, $100 million, they don't stop having problems, right? They don't stop having business problems. So the foundation of your business has to be self-trust. And I would offer to anyone listening, it already is, because you started the business in the first place. That was an incredible
Absolutely.
act of self-trust.
Yes, and like being willing to take a bet on yourself, but also knowing that we both like high achievers, highly ambitious people, working with them, that there's a certain level of perfectionism that can come into play that becomes maladaptive. Probably worked very well in childhood, probably got you all the, the praise, the gold stars, the A pluses, the ice cream after school, but now it's not working. Now it feels maladaptive and it's actually stopping you from listening to your channel, your intuition. And your intuition does show up through your human design, through your astrology, like how to access it and how to grow your business with it. It's all one big, beautiful circle of life, if you will. So,
Absolutely.
so some issues that I know I've seen when it comes to entrepreneurs who are in this space where they really don't know how to honor their human design is they tend to get overworked. So they try to produce as much as they see, like their idol produce. So they might look up to somebody and so they're like, well, this person posts 7 times a day. Like I need to post 7 times a day. No. So it's a lot of, it feels like a lot of outsourcing your authority. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, because you look up, you look to people like you said, these idols and things like that. You're like, okay, they have what I want, so what I want must be on the other side of following their path. When in actuality, we all have our own path. We all have our own journey. It's going to look totally different for you than it would for Mel Robbins or for Gary Vee or for like insert whoever your fave is here. Like your path is going to look totally different. Me and Tracy Ann both have similar sayings, but they sound different. I say you're a once in a lifetime cosmic event. I got that from Dr. Karen Curry Parker, who teaches quantum human design. And what's your saying?
Mine is we are all unique expressions of the divine.
Yes, yes, exactly. So saying that to say, those two phrases, like take those, you come up with your own amalgamation of them because you have to remember that. You have to remember you can't wear somebody else's shoes and walk somebody else's path and call it yours. It's your eventually the shoes are going to be too big, the shoes are going to be too small, you're going to be uncomfortable, you're going to face challenges that are not going to feel worth it to you because they're not on your path. They're not part of your evolutionary growth. So it's so
And
important, I
what
think, that you understand. Oh, go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. I was gonna ask you, what would you like, what have you noticed when people start to outgrow some of these energetic patterns or like maybe outgrow the coaching advice that they're getting? Like what happens internally? I know externally, like we see plateaus in income, we see lack of trust, less people converting, Reddit threads sometimes. Sometimes we get a little bit of that. So it's what do you see internally for that person that is not listening to the astrology and human design?
Yeah, I think one of the things I consistently see is overthinking. So thinking that this is a thinking problem instead of an action problem, right? It's like if I can just come up with the perfect plan and hit the perfect try, then all of this will go away. I also see that people don't understand their capacity. I think capacity is going to be a word that we're going to get sick and tired of inside this Saturn and Aries age, but the moments and spaces that you violate your own capacity. And when I say violate your own capacity, I can use myself and Tracy Ann as an example where we were very early in our coaching journey, and we were told by our group coach at the time that we should do an Instagram challenge where we post every day on Instagram. And this is very common in the business coaching space, right? They're like, treat
Yes.
social media like a lottery, volume, volume, volume. But that strategy violated both me and Tracy Ann's capacity. I salute to Tracy Ann because she finished it on like day 12. I was like, forget that. If this is the only path to my success, I'm out of here. Like you have to kind of trust. Again, we're going back to that self trust. You have to understand if something's burning you out, even if it worked for 100 people, you might be that 101st person that it actually doesn't work for. You might be that 101st person that you have to take that and say, okay, this part, and this part isn't working for me. How can I take it and make it me shaped, right? That's something that I teach. How can you make your life, your strategy, your business you shaped? It shouldn't be Alyssa shaped. It shouldn't be Tracy Ann shaped. It should be you shaped because you have to live with it. You have to deal with all the problems that it causes, all the problems that it has. You have to be proud of it. You have to
And you are the
validate it.
foundation. Yeah, and you are the foundation of your business ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, okay, so I do want to get into some of like I know they're curious about, all right, yeah, I know I've got this problem. I know that maybe they're in the stage where they're early entrepreneurs, they're undercharging, maybe they're but they're high achieving women, right? Maybe they're in the middle stages where they're struggling with consistency. Maybe they're in the upper echelon where they're just like, I don't like my business anymore. Like, I want to burn this all down. I don't get it. It doesn't resonate with who I've grown into since I've started it. So let's kind of, we've given them a little bit of a taste of, hey, there's so much possible when you actually trust your human design. If you're listening, when you trust your astrology, when you trust your human design, your dreams are possible. Absolutely. So let's get into some practical things that you can utilize in your astrology chart as well as your human design to move forward to grow your business in a way that feels organic and is actually effective, not just what the industry standard is, because we're moving into a stage of innovation. We've had, where Pluto in Aquarius era is coming, is here, and we really have to be mindful about being innovative, being intentional. And if you're new to astrology, Aquarius is the water bearer. It's very much known for being unique, but still caring about the collective good and how all of our individuality feeds into the collective good. And a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we do that with our resources. We do that with our money. So we want to be able to feed into making the world a better place. So let's talk about, we could do like a brief rundown on like elemental sun signs. What have you noticed? Like, what do they need to do in business in order to grow, to be more effective?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a little bit nuanced, but I trust your audience. I think
Yes.
that you should absolutely pay attention to your sun sign. If you take care of your sun will take care of you. Your sun sign is your vitality, it's your ego, it's how you feel proud of yourself. It's so many things, right? But as far as business motivation capacity goes, I really want people to start paying attention to their Mars sign because I have
Ooh.
noticed my Mars sign is actually what drives the car a lot of times in my business, and I wasn't quite aware of it. So I
That's
would
interesting.
definitely offer, pay attention to your Mars sign. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of astrology when it comes to business astrology and looking at who your ideal client is and all of those things. Your chart shows you all of that stuff. But I would say as far as motivation goes, especially if you're frustrated right now, because frustration, anger, those types of things, those are Mars energies. So pay attention to what your Mars sign needs. For example, my Mars is in Gemini in my 10th house. So it has a lot to do with my business. But the issue that comes in with Gemini is that I have shiny object syndrome. I always describe Gemini as like the butterfly on the breeze. I love nature analogies for astrology because I think we're all beholden to nature. So everyone kind of gets that. And a butterfly doesn't have a straight flight path. They kind of go on the wind. That is how my ideas are. Like that is how my brain is when it comes to business. So I have to really work a little bit harder to get solid on an idea that I know I'm going to go the distance with because I can't go on excitement because all of my ideas excite me, right? Like Gemini is Mercury ruled, all of my ideas excite me. So I just want to say that caveat, but we can definitely go through the signs by sun sign and just talk about some of the points you were making.
So I was thinking it would be fun to do elements just to keep it nice and condensed. We could do human design based on type, and then we can move into a little bit. See, because I feel like we could also really use midheaven. I think midheaven might be
Absolutely.
very helpful to people. So let's start with like sun signs that are fire. So we're talking Leo, we're talking Sagittarius, we're talking Aries. If you are one of those three sun signs, this what do they need to do in business in order to grow?
Yes. So if you are a fire sun, you need to understand that you love a superlative. And that is what you can use to motivate yourself. When I say superlative, I mean best, first, only, those types of things. And so pay attention to your craft, I think is going to be so important. Like, really, if you need a course, buy the course. If you want to study under a mentor, study under a mentor. Do what you need to do to make sure that every day you're getting 1% better at your craft. Because knowing how good you are, knowing how bad you deserve that superlative, that's going to motivate you to get out there, make the content, have the people hear you speak, get the speaking gigs, write the book, write the article, all the things you need to do to move your business forward. That's what's going to motivate you.
Oh, I love that. And I've seen that too. It's like, what are you passionate about? Let that drive you. Let that be the fuel in your tank at the end of the day, because that is what is magnetic to other people energetically.
Absolutely.
So let's talk like like abrupt shift. Let's talk water signs. Let's
Okay,
talk
I know.
like
Like,
I know it's like,
yeah.
oh God, where did we go?
Mhm. Yeah.
Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. What have you noticed that helps them grow in business?
Yeah. So I think that, um, gosh, this is a hard one. You have to honor. This is where I think everyone has to honor their capacity, right? But I
Agreed.
really notice my water signs when you start to burn out, that starts to really affect your worth as a human in business. I could offer this to air signs too. So air signs be kind of listening in. Uh, but yeah, it's so important that you stay tethered to your mission, water signs. The mission is the mission. And if you do not have a clear mission or have a clear vision, I want you to stop this podcast right now and create one because that is so important to your motivation. You can go back on the bad days, you can remind yourself of how big you are dreaming, of how much impact you want to have on the collective. Like, I think that is what drives you. And just a quick caveat. Um, Mission and vision are different. I
Yes.
did not know this until someone explained it to me.
Yeah.
Your mission is like something that you could actually achieve, right? Like your vision is something that even if you had 1,000 years, you probably wouldn't achieve it. So mission is more like day to day, I'm plodding along and I'm trying to do this thing. For example, if I was running a food truck, my mission could be that I want to feed 1,000 homeless people, right? My vision could be no homeless person will ever go hungry. Is that would take me bit, that would take me a long time to do.
A few lifetimes for sure.
Yeah, if you
At least.
exactly,
At
exactly.
least. And I will also say for water signs, what I've noticed is the desire to fill a space that maybe you don't fully belong in. So if you are a water sign, I've noticed, because water is fluid, right? We want to fill up the space. We want to hold emotional space for others when we have water signatures. It's really important for, like Alyssa said, to stay focused on your mission and what are the day-to-day steps that are necessary without letting some of the sensitivity to what you're feeling about the action steps control what you do. So allow, as I say, I've heard this phrase a million times. I can't remember who originated it, but you're driving the car, but fear can sit in the back seat and you can still drive that car. Like for moms, you can still drive your car with a screaming child in the back seat. We've done
Yeah,
it. We've done it day in,
yeah.
day out. So just, and then also for water signs, I've noticed, be careful of influential people who start to guide you away from your mission. If you see a pathway that's like, once again, like the shiny object syndrome, especially for my Pisces, because they're beautiful. If you see something that like, it looks good, right? Like it looks good, but it is deviating from where you actually want to be, that is a sign that you need to let that go and refocus on your mission. What are the action steps you can take today? How can you feel grounded if there's any emotional turmoil coming up for you?
Yeah. And one
So,
last thing I want to add for water
yeah,
signs is that um remembering that all the moving water on earth flows to the oceans, right? So to me, that is a beautiful natural analogy of how you need community. Make sure that you're in aligned community. But like Tracy Ann said, watching out for people that are trying to use your nurturing, stick to it, I'll get it done by any means energy for themselves. You want to make sure you're channeling that energy for your dreams, but aligned community is so, so important for you because your community helps to remind you of what's possible, especially in those down times, because we know water energy, our emotions, you guys feel those downturns really potently.
absolutely. So let's shift to Earth. my Taurus, my Capricorns, my Virgos, this is for you, and this is how to grow in business. So, what would you say to earth signs who are ready to expand their business?
For earth signs that are ready to expand their business, I would say strategy, strategy, strategy. Earth signs,
Yes,
we know. Me and Tracy Ann
she's
both have
preaching.
earth
She's
sign
preaching.
risings. We don't give up. We don't give up. It's like giving up is not an option. It's like, okay, there's no door, there's no window. I'm about to figure out how to fit through this vent. Like we got to get out of here essentially.
Yes.
And so and so recognizing, and I think Taurus is a great example of this. I'm going to pick on Tracy Ann a little bit. I always tell my Taurus clients, don't plow an empty field. Like if you ever see a bull, you put the plow on them and then they just go. And it's like there's nothing on this field. We're going to this field. Don't
You're actually
plow an
on
empty
cement
field.
right now. You're
Recognize
actually
what's
trying to you're
yeah,
actually trying to do cement right now. Like
this
you
is a
this is
park.
not gonna work.
No, exactly. Have to it's almost like earth signs just get head down energy and they're just like I'm going to do this for this period of time and this is how it's going to go. And it's like you have to come up for air, recognize okay, what's working, what's not. So I would say audits are huge for air
Yes.
sorry, earth sign energy. And also again that divine community of being like, hey, you've really kind of been chipping away at this wall and this wall is 100 feet thick. So maybe take a break, like you really need that community aspect, but also that strategy and those clear markers of when it's working and when it's not.
I agree. Strategy, structure. Structure is big. Structure is big. If you don't like structure and you are an earth sign, actually really any entrepreneur, you're going to need to implement more structure. And a lot of times people are like, oh, that means I need to be really diligent about my working hours. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying be diligent about your working hours, your resting hours, have those carved out and scheduled just as well, and your playtime. Have that carved out and scheduled. Earth signs, it is not optional. It is not, you think it's optional and you'll tell yourself, oh, but I like working. Me too. But does that mean that I should work 24/7? No. Is that healthy? No. So if you find yourself in that space,
No.
you've got to yeah, tell yourself there's an easier way, there's a better way, and that is by actually structuring in rest, play, and really focusing on what is working strategy wise rather than just plowing ahead in Taurus style or perfecting to go pick on you now. Just kidding. But like Alyssa knows, Alyssa knows on the Virgo side, she's a Virgo rising, that there can be the perfectionism and like tweaking. That's kind of where you guys can get your head down. Like, how can I make this a little bit more perfect? Capricorn, y'all are just trying to be the best right out of the gate. Um, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down to optimize and really make sure that what you're doing makes sense. So let's
I
dive
completely agree with
into,
that. I think especially with Capricorn.
oh my gosh, because we both have Capricorn stellium, so we can speak freely on that. On water, or we did water. Let's do air. Let's get into air. So we're both air sun signs. So air is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. When you are an air sun sign, what do you recommend to grow in business?
Absolutely recommend trusting. This is going to sound so cliche too, but trusting your own voice. And what I mean by that is understanding that those ideas that you have at 3 a.m., those shower thoughts, those times that you're talking to yourself in the car, just talking something through, like you would be surprised at how many people want to hear that. They want to understand how, like, air sign energy understands the world in a fundamentally different way than everyone else. And so it's so important that you share that. You are literally here to share that. So I would say become a professional yapper. Like that's one of the best things that you can do as an air sign. Become a professional yapper, talk about your ideas, especially and even if they are not all the way fleshed out. And I think each sign, we could go through each sign. Honestly, this could be a 3 hour long podcast. We
Truly.
could go through each sign
Yeah.
and talk about the exact thing, that they need to work on. But for air energy, I think it would definitely just be share your ideas more, because you would be surprised at how far an idea can take you. A lot of times people
Agreed.
think that, oh, I have to flesh the idea out and I have to do all the things. But it's like for air energy, it's a little bit different, where you might say the idea and then you just happen to be in the right space with the right who's that can do the thing, right? The right who's that can perform the how. So you're stuck. You're like looping, overthinking, thinking that you have to do the how and figure out the how. Air signs a lot of times just have to find the who.
It's so true. I agree. And then once we're back to the community aspect. Air signs, if you so use your voice, speak out what you have to say, use your breath, the air in your body to express what you're passionate about, what your next goals are. Because I know both of us have had this experience as air sun signs where we speak something and then like a month later we're like, oh, it's here. Uh-oh. Like I didn't expect that. I've seen it with even your growth. So, full disclosure, Alyssa and I are mutual clients. So we both work with each other as coaches. So Alyssa's my coach. She's my client as well. I was like, how do I say this backwards? Alyssa's my coach. Alyssa's my coach and I am her coach as well. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So is that
yes.
logical?
That,
Okay.
that, that makes sense.
Brains. Okay. So so we have seen this quite a bit with ourselves of just speaking something. Alyssa with her TikTok group. Alyssa is a viral star on TikTok and she has just used it's the truth. Don't deny it. Don't deny it.
You're right. You're right. I'm a micro influencer on TikTok.
And it's all come from just speaking these ideas that I think for us air signs we feel are mundane or obvious or like duh, but actually they're quite innovative and they really spark something new in other people to hear those thoughts. And once we share them, just things start to click into place. So just make sure that you're focusing on communicating your desires and not keeping them internalized because that will drive you crazy and put you into analysis paralysis. So
Thousand
let's
percent.
let's go in on these human design types.
Yeah.
So because we both love human design. I want to start with my generators because we're 80% of the population. Generators in business. I mean, I'm guessing you have your thoughts too. I would actually, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
would
throw it
love
to you
to
first and
I
then
would love
I'll
to hear yours.
okay, great.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah.
because Alyssa's a projector. So for generators in business, really, it is about what lights you up. And I know we can get on this trail where we're like, oh yeah, I'm so lit up. I've got this idea. I'm going to run with it. And we tell ourselves that excitement equates to a yes. It's not always so extreme. It's actually a more subtle indicator in the body. So I want you to notice if you like lean in a little bit, something like that, something if or do you smile, do you feel a sense of joy, do you feel some sort of energy bubbling up certain places, like use that as an indicator of what the next step is in your business that's going to get you that ROI, that's going to build your growth, that's going to build your audience, rather than just doing. It can kind of honestly give that Taurus energy where you're just on a path going. But even if you're a generator, you're going to burn out. So good signs of recognizing that, of course, is the not self. For generators, that is frustration. That's when I knew I had to stop doing those 30-day challenges. I did them 3 times because my generator Taurus rising self was like, third time's the charm. Like we'll just keep going. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting. So you can still burn out as a generator. Notice when you feel frustrated by the efforts that you're taking and if it's giving you a lack of results, it might not there's something needs to shift there. It might be strategy. It usually is. Make sure that strategy is something that feels good in your body and that you feel attracted to on a physical, visceral level.
Absolutely, 1000%. I think the not self theme, as far as human design goes, is one of the most important things. Like, that is going to show you, oof, okay, wrong place. Like, what are we doing here? And I think what I noticed with my generator clients is that they say yes too early, and then they sign up for a little too much. You know, and before you know it, they're like, okay, I need to figure out how to grow a third arm by Thursday. I think I can do it. It's like, I'm sorry, what? You know, so it's so important. Pay attention to that frustration. That is a huge signal that's trying to cut through the noise of your life right now. And if you are burned out, that means that you have ignored the frustration long enough that it has started to cause physical and emotional symptoms. So absolutely, I would say pay attention to that burnout and that frustration, because that's what's going to guide your capacity of what you can actually handle and when the cup is actually full.
And frustration, I also want to say, I feel like in the coaching world gets washed, like turned into a mindset issue. And it's not
Mm,
always a mindset issue. So really be mindful of that. It can be a capacity issue. So if you're feeling like you simply don't have the capacity for something, it's time for a change of strategy. Is there anything else you want to add on the generator front?
no, I think that's it. I think we covered them
Okay.
pretty well.
Then let's dive into projectors. I love you guys. I love projectors. You guys are amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna Alyssa still is like leaning in, right? Like leaning into the trajectory. So I'll kick this one
Yeah.
off. So for projector, how to
Okay. Yeah.
grow,
So
because I love to work with you guys. I love to work with a lot of projectors. How you guys grow best in business is by noticing very subtle feedback. So projectors, your sign that you're moving in the right direction is an invitation. Now, typically when people hear invitation, they're like, oh, so someone's going to write an email to me or send me a letter that has a wax seal. Like, no, they're not. An invitation might be something as simple as like asking about your services or what do you do? And you see like an eyebrow raise of like, oh, I'm intrigued. Like it can be the tiniest little thing, a comment, a like. That is an invitation into your work. And it's having that willingness to recognize those invitations and act on them and realize that the right people are already going to get it because you guys have such a vast knowledge that you are able to, and I would say always is, so Alyssa, she's able to synthesize it into like a just one sentence phrase that blows everyone's minds. And that's your superpower, projector. Notice the person who is showing interest in what you are sharing, and then allow yourself to be fully authentic in that moment, and then you get to offer them the invitation in your business. You get to say, oh, it sounds like you're really curious. I'd love to chat about this more. Let's set up a call. So projectors, that's what I would encourage you to do to grow your business and to recognize the not self of bitterness. When you're bitter, it means that you're probably doing something that's not right for you. Once again, I think this is typically a strategy issue that I notice. It's not typically a mindset issue. If you are bitter, you're doing something that is not in alignment with who you are in your human design or in your astrology.
1000%. Yes. Like if you are, so capacity comes from, for projectors, I find it comes from like being seen and recognized in our insight, being appreciated for our insight. That is like catnip to us. We're like, you hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Oh my God. Like it feels so good. And also what I found that I am railing against, I'm unhappy about it. I don't like it, but it works. And this is thanks to Tracy Ann and her genius, working in short, focused bursts and then building in rest. Like who knew rest was non-negotiable? Like where'd that come
That's a
from?
concept.
Who made that
Yes.
rule? Right, exactly. And so that really works for projectors. And I find that the capacity drain, the thing that pulls the plug on our capacity, is like when we overwork to prove ourselves. So we're trying to say, I just know if they just pay attention to me in this space, if they just hear me out, then they'll understand how brilliant I am and I'll get the job or I'll get the gig or I'll get the client. It's like we have to wait for our invitations. We have to. There is no way around it. So don't try to initiate too soon. And the other thing I would say that Tracy Ann kind of hit on is don't try to keep up with other people's pace, because other people's pace is not our pace. 30, like I have to face, I am not going to be the type of person that's going to be able to do something for 30 days straight without batching or like prepping. Like I am not going to be able to wake up and just be on camera 30 days straight. It's just not how I'm designed, you know? So I had to have all the kicky feet and all the head trash about it. But eventually I took the head trash out and I acknowledge how I am designed.
Yeah. And then two beautiful results.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very proud of my results. I love my business so much. I love the amazing souls that I get to work with. And, I didn't have to be on Instagram Live every day for 90 days
No, and just an
to do it.
example, like Alyssa had a launch not that long ago, and I think you advertised for, was it 2 weeks? And
Yeah.
2 weeks brought in 100 registrants. And it wasn't every day an email, every day a TikTok. It was not that at all. It was not that at all.
No,
In
it was
fact,
8 videos over 2 weeks.
and I remember like one of the videos brought in the majority of the people. So it's like, once again, that synthesization, that one, it doesn't have to be every day you're dropping, it's just that one moment really pulled people in where they were like, here's the invitation, here's the invitation, here's the invitation. So I want you guys to see that if you're a projector, you do not have to push yourself all the time. Rest and your brilliance will shine. Just be open to talking about what you do.
Yeah. As a projector, it's counterintuitive when you push yourself all the time. You're actually slowing yourself down by trying to have the pace of a generator or a manifesting generator.
And let's actually go into manifestors. So, manifestors, I've noticed what you guys do best in business is allow yourself rhythms, allow yourself the freedom to rest completely, to kind of go internally, as well as have those really productive spurts. The warning I will say for manifestors is know what your body is telling you, which rhythm you are currently in. Do not automatically assume that you're gonna maintain that high energy throughout the year. So really focus in on what your body is telling you. And if you are struggling, like if you personally like more stability in your business and you're not into like, oh my gosh, the rhythms, automations are going to be key for you. Set up automations for those times when you are feeling down and out. Also, text replacement messages so that you can easily respond to someone with a shortcut phrase, and then it will populate the rest of the sentences in the message. So like if you are feeling more internal, because you guys, your way of moving into alignment is informing. So once you inform people like, hey, I'm just out of office today, or hey, I'll get back to you in a little bit. If you're in that more internal place, that's going to keep the momentum actually going in your business. You don't always have to do, you just have to inform and find ways to build consistency around that aren't taxing to you.
Yes, absolutely. Manifestors need that freedom to initiate, but also that time to disconnect guilt-free. Like
Guilt
that's I
free.
think the biggest thing, yeah, is with manifestors is they feel so guilty because it's like, well, I initiated this, I started this, I came up with the idea, which is where your genius lives, but you don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to follow through. Again, like manifestors really benefit from that who, not how. Like
Mm-hmm.
find your who's, find your
Absolutely.
generators, find your, projectors that can orchestrate and synthesize in your absence. Like find those people that help to push your how forward while you go restore your energy.
Absolutely. And then let's dive into, okay, so I'm Manigens, you're really like a combination of manifestors and generators. So we'll dive into you guys, Manigens. So it's very similar. It's very similar in a lot of the things that we said for our manifestors and a lot of things that we said for our generators. But Manigens, I think the primary difference here is that you guys have a lot of different passions and interests that you excel at. And so for you in business, what can inhibit your growth is choosing one thing to focus on. A lot of times, what I notice with Manny Gens is they've got 5 different businesses that are, and none of them are getting the full attention. So none of them are thriving. And then they're feeling like, oh, I'm a bad business owner. It's not that. It's just you need to hone your energy and then expand it. So, what is calling your attention right now? And recognize that these other pursuits, that they will actually start to line up and coalesce, but it requires you to focus first in one direction, and then the other things you'll recognize how they're there to support your business. Like, I know a Manny Jen, she is a voice alignment coach, and she has used so many tools, astrocartography to help her clients, her business mentorship to help her clients. But she uses all these different things. She's worked in hospitality. She's had so many different lives, as it were, but all of it is feeding into now this voice alignment. She understands how to serve people at a high level from her work in hospitality. She understands what needs to happen in their business to support them using their voice if that's what they want to do. There's just so many aspects of management. If you can be patient with yourself and hone in on a specific thing that you feel the most drawn towards, and if you're struggling with deciding, which I know you are, choose a intuitive sign. Choose a sign. So like it could be an animal, a symbol, anything, and then make that the thing that you're going to focus on. And it's going to feel hard at first, but you are just building your capacity. It's just, once again, you're building your capacity to hold more by accomplishing and mastering this one specific thing. And whenever it's time to shift, you will know that. You will start to see the signs of anger or frustration when that strategy no longer works for you, or you need to move to a different niche or topic.
Yes, yes. And I love the point that you were making about signs. I have a mom friend who's a Manny Jen, and she was struggling about where to put her child for school. And she was driving one day because her child has special needs. And she was driving one day and she asked the universe, show me 222, like show me 222, and I'll know that that's a sign, that's the school. And like, then I'll know. And literally there was a bus that drove up next to her, and it said, enrolling children with special needs or disabilities from ages 2 to 22. Like, so yes, ask the universe, set those parameters, and watch it show up for you. Like, it's amazing. The only other thing I would say about Manny Gens is you're not flaky. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard Manny Gens like describe themselves as flaky. Sometimes the pivot is the point. We all have we all have energies that we're showing the collective, and I would offer that Manny Gens are showing the collective. Sometimes the pivot is the point. Sometimes the
Yes.
pivot is the door to your next level life, your next level expansion. So you show us, don't be afraid to pivot. And also, like Tracy Ann was saying with her friend, it becomes this beautiful amalgamation of ways that you help people. So follow that joy, follow that insight, follow that spark. It's not going to lead you wrong. And don't let anyone shame you and force you to stay in something longer than you know is aligned for you.
Yes. And reflectors. So reflectors, I think you guys are like 0.8 or percent, something, a very low percentage of the population.
Yeah.
Reflectors, what I've noticed that you guys need to grow your business is a healthy social circle and home environment. If you are not, you guys have all of your energy spaces open. And so when that happens, you're very easily influenced by your environment, by those around you. So it is super imperative that you make sure that you are in a space that feels safe to you, living with people that feel safe to you if you're living with somebody, and a friend circle that you can truly trust, as well as coaching support that you can really trust. Because reflectors, your sign, I believe it's a sign of success, is being carried. It's surprised, but one of their what strategy is being carried. So you're meant to really lean on your community, and by cultivating that through trusting, oh, this is a little off, or like this is a little much, or I feel overstimulated, and saying, okay, if I feel those ways, it's a no, it's not supportive. And not feeling, once again, that shame of that sensitivity, recognizing that it's a gift. It's a gift. I watched one of my reflector friends. She was in a place where she was surrounded by people who just didn't understand her vision, didn't get her, living in a space that felt cloistered. She moved, got a whole new social circle, and it's just been opportunity after opportunity where she went from being a photographer to now she's planning events, and now she's serving people emotionally. She's just doing so many different things that are way more aligned with her because of the shift in environment and the shift in her community. So
Yeah,
if I was as
go ahead.
sorry, like
No,
I was
go
like,
ahead. It's okay.
um, and then I was going to say, if you're feeling disappointed by where you are in your business, it's a sign that the environment or your community support team is out of alignment as a reflector.
Yeah, absolutely. And reflectors have to remember you guys are the mirrors of your environment. And so if your environment is full of a lot of negativity, a lot of people who are in victim mindset, frustrated with their own lives, you can't help but feel that. So that's going to
Absolutely.
impact how you think and feel about yourself because we're all inextricably connected. And so it's also really important for connectors, reflectors to trust their own timing and take their time. And I think that
Yes.
in a society that is so go, 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 more, bigger, expand, all the things, right? It's like you're so reflectors just have to get comfortable being countercultural and being like, I actually need some more time to think on that. I'll get back to you next month. I'll get back to you in a
Yes.
couple of weeks. Like you just have to trust your timing. You just
I
have to
love
get
that.
comfortable.
I agree 100%. And now for just a quick break. You've made your first 10K, but now you're feeling stuck. You're feeling stagnant in your business, but you want more. You want consistency. You want to bring in 10K months, not just 10K years. If this sounds like you, you're probably already working with coaches or in group coaching programs where the strategies just aren't clicking for you. They require more time, more energy, or they simply don't feel in alignment with where you are now. That's why I created Soul Centered Success, my 6-month signature program for coaches who are ready to tap into their intuition and create a business that is sustainable and profitable, all based on you. You are the foundation. So, based on your body, meaning your physical capacity, your brain, your nervous system, and previous conditioned habits, as well as your soul's blueprint, your astrology, human design, numerology, etc. So if this sounds like you, please go ahead and book your intuitive strategy call. The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there. Now back to our guest, Alyssa. We're going to be wrapping everything up in a little bow for people. So we're just going to go back to our core lesson and we're going to talk about what's one simple action step for all of these beautiful individuals who are listening today that they can take just to sort of understand themselves a little bit better, both in growing their business, just so that they can understand better how to grow their business. What would you say one action step for them is?
Yeah, I think that the best action step, and I might be a little bit biased as an energetic strategist, but the best action step that I think you can take is to understand your energetic blueprint. Get an astrology reading, get a human design reading. Understand your gene keys, understand your tarot birth cards. There's so much out there energetically that can be a North Star for you if you don't want to necessarily dabble in all of them, even though they're all sisters, they're all cousins, they're all related. You're going to see the same themes, which I think also speaks to the efficacy of them. It's not like the human design person is telling you, to wait 30 days on something and then the astrology person is telling you got to go right now. It's like you're going to see those signatures and those through lines in all of these energetic modalities, but I would say understand your energetic blueprint, understand how you are meant to show up in the world, what you are here to do. And then once you start to understand this, especially in that's why I love using different modalities to show you the similarities and show you like, no, like this is it. Like, doesn't matter which
Yeah.
number you call, this is the message that you get. then you can really start to what I notice for most people is they realize they're already on the right track. They realize they're passionate about the right things. It's not an accident, the things that you're passionate about, the things that light you up. I talk to Tracy Ann about this all the time because she is a multi-passionate human. And so I'll say, you're not interested in base jumping. You're not interested in sewing jackets, out of peppercorns or whatever. You are interested in energy work. You're interested in making media better for good humans. Like, you're
Yeah.
interested in these beautiful things for a reason. So I would say overall, get an energy reading, get your energetic blueprint into your head, get it on your computer, look at it every day, let it validate you, because that is what's going to help you create your most aligned next level, next step.
And where can our listeners find you?
Yes, so you can find me all over the internet at the Karuna Lab. So TheKarunalab. I am on Threads, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. TikTok is where I'm most active, but I'm going to work on Instagram in 2026. I am on Substack. I am on YouTube. So pretty much all over the internet at the Karuna Lab. And of course, you can email me. I love talking to people via email. I love hearing stories. So if you were touched by this or you have any questions about anything I've said today, please feel free to reach out to me via email. I love humans.
Yeah, and we loved having you. Thank you again for being a guest on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, so much. And also, I didn't mention my business coach, aka Tracy Ann, would be mad at me for not mentioning this, but I have a new offer called the Clarity Code, where I will help you look at your entire energetic blueprint, apply it to your business, and really get the clarity that you've been searching for based on your energetic blueprint. So if you're interested in that, you can go to my website, thekarunalab.com. At the top, you'll see offers and just click the clarity code and you can book a session.
I love that. Okay, very cool. Um, Thank you guys for listening. Thank you again to Alyssa for being here. Make sure that you subscribe, like, review 5 stars. And if you are looking for more support, book your intuitive strategy call. All the information will be in the show notes. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.